If lately you feel like your mind won't shut off, that even when everything is silent outside, there's noise inside, this message is for you. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6, thinking is not the problem. The problem is thinking without rest. Perhaps your body is sitting, but your mind is racing, reviewing conversations, imagining futures that don't yet exist, creating scenarios that never happened. And little by little, that not only tires the mind, it tires the soul, because the soul was not designed to live in a constant state of alert. There are people who are not physically exhausted, but they are spiritually drained. And the most dangerous thing about overthinking is that it seems like responsibility. It seems like maturity. It seems like you're trying to solve things. But in reality, many times it's fear disguised as control. Today, we are going to understand why your mind doesn't stop, what's happening in your brain, and how to regain peace without ceasing to be intelligent. Stay until the end, because you are going to discover something that can change the way you think forever. Overthinking doesn't start as a problem. It starts as an attempt at protection. Your brain was designed to anticipate dangers. It's a survival mechanism. When something hurts, the brain says, analyze more, think more, prepare more. The problem is that today we don't live running from wild animals. We live running from thoughts. Neuroscience shows that when you repeat a worry many times, you constantly activate the amygdala, the fear center. And every time you activate it, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol is useful in emergencies, but when it becomes constant, it exhausts. That's why you feel tension in your chest. That's why your jaw's clenched. That's why you struggle to sleep. You are not weak, you are overstimulated. Excessive thinking creates an illusion of control. Your mind believes that if it analyzes everything, it can avoid pain. But there is a profound truth. Thinking doesn't always solve. Sometimes it only prolongs suffering. And the more you try to control the future, the more you lose the present. In the next block, we're going to talk about something delicate. The difference between wise reflection and destructive rumination. Because not all thinking is wisdom. There is a silent difference between reflecting and ruminating. Reflecting builds, ruminating wears down. Reflection seeks understanding. Rumination seeks absolute certainty. And absolute certainty does not exist. When you reflect, you ask a question and move forward. When you ruminate, you ask the same question 100 times, hoping for a different answer. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That verse doesn't just speak of outward silence. It speaks of inner stillness, because overthinking is often a way of not letting go. It's as if your mind is saying, if I keep thinking, it won't hurt as much. But it hurts more. Rumination activates a closed cycle in the brain. Thought, negative emotion, more thought, more emotion, and the soul begins to feel heavy. Maybe you're not sad, maybe you're not depressed, but you are saturated with analyzing what you said, saturated with imagining what could happen, saturated with trying to foresee every scenario. And meanwhile, peace slowly slips away. In the next block, we are going to talk about something almost no one explains to you. Why overthinking also affects your faith. Because it's not just mental, it's spiritual. Overthinking doesn't just tire the mind, it also wears down faith. Because when you analyze everything excessively without realizing it, you try to occupy a place that doesn't belong to you. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. There is a very fine line between responsibility and self-sufficiency. When you overthink, often what you're saying internally is, if I don't solve it, no one will. And that's where the weariness of the soul begins. Because your mind is limited, but you try to use it to control an infinite future. Faith rests, anxiety calculates. Faith trusts. The overloaded mind tries to foresee every possibility. And the more you try to anticipate everything, the more you feel that everything depends on you. That's exhausting, not because you are weak, but because you were trying to carry something that was not designed to be on your shoulders. Overthinking can be a subtle form of fear. Fear of losing, fear of making mistakes, fear of not being in control. But the soul was not created to live in constant vigilance. In the next block, we're going to talk about how to break this mental cycle without ceasing to be a responsible and intelligent person. Because it's not about stopping thinking, it's about learning to rest inwardly. Breaking the cycle of overthinking doesn't mean becoming irresponsible. It means training your mind not to live in a constant state of alarm. Casting all your anxiety on Him, for He cares for you. In Peter 5:7, notice something profound. The verse doesn't say, analyze your anxiety. It says, cast it. That implies action, it implies decision. From neuroscience, when you consciously interrupt a repetitive thought pattern, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for clarity and emotional regulation. But if you don't interrupt the cycle, the amygdala remains active, and the body remains in tension. So how do you break it? First, identify the repetitive thought. Don't judge it, observe it. Second, ask yourself, is this a fact or an imagined possibility? Third, decide to let go of what you cannot control today. Overthinking is almost always trying to solve tomorrow with today's energy, and that is exhausting. You don't need to turn off your mind. You need to teach it that not everything is an emergency. In the next block, we're going to talk about something even deeper. Why some people overthink, because they learned they are only valuable if they anticipate everything. And that touches on identity. Some people don't overthink because they want to. They overthink because they learned it was the only way to feel safe. Maybe you grew up in an environment where anticipating problems avoided conflicts. Maybe you learned that if you weren't alert, something would go wrong. Maybe you took on emotional responsibilities too soon, and without realizing it, your identity was formed like this. I am the one who foresees. I am the one who thinks for everyone. I am the one who has to solve. But living this way comes with an invisible price. Because when your worth is tied to anticipating everything, resting feels like danger. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28, rest is not weakness, it is trust. From psychology, when a person links their identity to control, the brain releases dopamine when solving imaginary scenarios. That creates a mental habit. Your mind becomes addicted to foresight. But to foresee is not the same as to live. Maybe you're not tired from what you do. You're tired from what you hold internally. In the next block, we're going to talk about how to rebuild an identity that thinks with wisdom, but rests with faith. Because it is possible to think without getting exhausted. Rebuilding your identity begins with a silent decision. Not everything depends on me. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. John 14:27. There is a peace that does not come from having all the answers. It comes from accepting that you don't need to have them all. When you decide that your worth is not in anticipating every problem, your nervous system begins to relax. From neuroplasticity, we know something powerful. The thoughts you repeat create stronger neural connections, but they can also weaken if you stop feeding them. Every time you choose not to follow a catastrophic thought, you are literally reprogramming your brain. That is power, not the power to control the future, but the power to govern your mind. Thinking with wisdom is different from thinking with fear. Wisdom analyzes what is necessary and then acts. Fear analyzes the impossible and never rests. Your new identity is not one that lives in constant vigilance. It is one that trusts, acts, and lets go. And when your mind learns to rest, your soul begins to breathe again. In the next block, we will close with something essential: how to turn your mind into an ally and not an enemy. Because it's not about turning off your mind, it's about leading it. Your mind is not your enemy. It is a powerful tool when you lead it. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of self-control. 2 Timothy 1:7, self-control is also mental control. Overthinking is tiring your soul because you are using your mind to try to control what can only be resolved with trust. You don't need less intelligence, you need more direction. Every thought you allow to stay takes up emotional space. And when your mind is full of what-ifs, there is no room left for peace. Today you understood something important. Thinking is not the problem. The problem is not knowing when to stop. Rumination activates fear. Faith activates rest. Identity determines your peace. Maybe you can't prevent a thought from appearing, but you can decide how long it stays, and that changes everything. If this message spoke to you, it's not a coincidence. Your soul is not tired from weakness. It is asking for direction. And if you want to delve deeper into how to strengthen your mind through faith and practical wisdom, there are resources that can help you continue this process step by step. Now I ask you a final question. Are you going to continue letting your mind govern you, or are you going to start governing it yourself? If this video helped you, comment, "God is with me," and share it with someone who needs inner rest. Before you go, I want you to keep this in your heart. Your mind was not created to be a prison. It was created to be an instrument. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. When you overthink without realizing it, you neglect your heart. And when the heart gets tired, everything becomes heavier. But today, something changed. Today you understood that you are not broken. You are not exaggerating. You are not losing faith. You are learning to differentiate between control and trust. Perhaps the problem was never that you think too much. Perhaps the problem was that you thought alone. And when you try to solve everything without inner rest, the soul becomes exhausted. True maturity is not foreseeing every scenario. It's knowing when to stop. True strength is not analyzing everything. It's trusting when you've already done what's in your hands. If you made it this far, it's no coincidence. That means your mind is ready for a new level of peace. Keep training your thought. Keep strengthening your identity. Keep seeking wisdom. And remember, not every thought deserves your energy. Not every fear deserves your attention. And not every future needs to be resolved today. If this message touched your soul, write in the comments, "God is with me." And if you want to continue growing in direction, faith, and mental clarity, check the link in the bio. I want you to do something right now. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how long has it been since you truly rested inside? In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Peace is not the absence of thoughts, it is the presence of trust. Perhaps your mind has been telling you that if you let your guard down, something bad will happen. But living in constant alert doesn't protect you, it exhausts you. Today, you understood that overthinking doesn't make you more responsible. It makes you more tired. Your soul doesn't need more analysis, it needs direction. And direction means choosing which thought you feed. Every time you choose to let go of a what-if, you are strengthening your faith. Every time you decide to rest amidst uncertainty, you are growing. You were not born to live trapped in imaginary scenarios. You were born to live with purpose. If you made it this far, it means you are ready for a higher level of emotional and spiritual maturity. Keep training your mind, keep strengthening your identity, keep building inner peace. And if this message spoke deeply to you, write right now, "God is with me." Share this video with someone who is tired inside. And remember, the mind can think, but it is you who decides when to stop.